What's up guys, welcome back for another Yugioh Pro Duel video. One of the new Link monsters revealed yesterday from the Link VRAINS pack 3 indeed was a new, Link monster for Pendulum decks, I guess. Kinda power creeps the Metaltron that was, like semi-staple in Pendulums, right, before Guard Dragons. Anyway, Selene is the name, right, so it's quite easy to get on the field. It's a Link 3, and again, just go for Electromite, and the only, condition it needs is a Spellcaster monster. So I'm looking at Pendulum Magicians, I'm looking at Endymion, for example. I mean, there are so many Spellcaster monsters. There's one tech here in the main deck being the Instant Fusion. Again, like don't take this build for granted. I'm not your pro Pendulum player or your most dedicated Pendulum player. Like, all the feedback is definitely appreciated. This is just trying out the potential of this new card, right? Like the new potential openings you can do. So the extra deck's super tight, but again, like always, feel free to leave, suggestions or changes, since that's definitely needed as from these, tryouts and opening hands. So again, going first, the biggest advantage of this new Link monster is that first of all, it's quite easy to get on the field, but the effect is quite good. It has a quick effect, and well, its first effect states that when it's summoned, it looks at all the spell cards in both players' graveyards, if I'm not mistaken, and on the field, and then it will gain counters, like spell counters on itself. So most of the time you will get like a lot, since again, you're just running like multiple spells like a Lure of Darkness and the good old Endymion stuff, right? Her effect is most important, and during both players' turns, it's a quick effect. You can send 3 counters from anywhere. Doesn't really matter. You can send them from her to the grave. Well, not to the graveyard, but you can remove them to reborn a spellcaster from your graveyard or special summon a spellcaster from your hand. And I'm looking at the Endymion package, for example, or there are some some quite nifty attacks you can main deck. Attacks like Instant Fusion, as you're seeing here. Like getting Winda on the field, and then during your opponent's turn, bam, reborn Winda to put your opponent under the special summon lock. And as you saw, the deck basically functions the same. Having the only Guard Dragon I'm playing is LP, facilitating the Destrudo summon indeed. Destrudo being an extra level 7 needed to make your rank 7 exceed. And again, your rank 7 exceed equals Vortex for the first negation, well, the second negation technically, since most of the time you'll be going for the Mythical Beast here on the far left to prevent your opponent from using Nibiru on your first turn. So again, that's one of the advantages Pendulums have. If you open okay, you should be able to prevent or prevent your opponent from using Nibiru or, well, getting a Nibiru off against your entire field. So, what is it called? The VRAINS is in my main deck. It's quite okay. In this case, it was definitely needed, since, VRAINS, if your opponent wants to attack, it needs to attack VRAINS. So it has some beneficial effects as well. But most importantly, it protects your Winda, since your Selene, your Link monster, special summons in defense position. So Winda, with its low defense, definitely needed the extra protection from VRAINS. But again, what's it called? You can definitely go for Boral Sword as well, also a Link 4, right? Most situations, both were definitely an option. Or what is it, the other one? The Link 4 that negates monster effects. You know which one I mean. The name's right. But that one is not in the extra deck, so VRAINS is being ran, or at least it's in the extra deck over that, if that makes sense. But again, yeah, feel free to leave feedback about that, right? So again, some test plays, some testings, right? I prefer like 40 cards, or relatively close to 40 cards, but as you saw on the side deck, you have so many options to run the build, like Pendulum Magicians, Pendulum Call. I can definitely make this 60 cards and go with it. It's like a staple for this particular deck. The problem here with double field spell, of course, a slight chance you'll be drawing into it. I believe this was one of the first, test duels, and I think I only have like 3 negations, 3 interruptions. So that doesn't feel that strong, I guess. Not really sure what my other plays were, but that's how it is. So again, the standard opening move of Endymion, like level 3, special summoning the Mythical Beast from the deck, the Monster Negator, prevent your opponent from using Nibiru. So yeah, I think I should activate my Upstart here. Not really sure how many counters I have on my side of the field, or, indeed, spell counters. But in the long run, it's not going to matter too much here in this situation. So Upstart for the extra draw, I guess that's fine. I think, yep, indeed, I still have my Pendulum Summon, having that yellow Servant here on the far right. That's cool, I believe it's just fine as a one-off deck. Going for the LP, the Pseudo again, such a crazy card. It's basically an extra level 7 on the field, you know, opening the rank 7 Exceed place, and opens up a Boral Sword Synchro play, or an FA Dragster, Dawn Dragster Synchro play, if you happen to play it in your extra deck as well. But again, the main point here is to just prevent your opponent from playing the duel. Multiple negations, let's say we have the Mythical Beast on the left, we have the Endymion to negate the spell, and then, you know, the yellow Magister Endymion that special summons another Endymion from the deck. You have the Boral Savage, indeed, and Vortex, so many negations. Again, this is Pendulums, right? And thanks to this new Selene card, it's just facilitating this shenanigans, and at the same time potentially opening some extra monster zones with this very appropriate link markers. So again, like always, feel free to leave feedback. The deck definitely needs work, but there is so much to work with, right? Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.